It's Monday midday, but I was hunting out this redneck blind last Saturday afternoon, evening. Had a good encounter, but it also sparked some thoughts I wanted to share. Right about dark, saw a nice 3-year-old buck right at the edge of a high-deal food plot we have right here. He's about 40 yards and 3 years old. I just enjoyed watching him, left my bow sitting in the redneck blind here. And that's not what this episode's about, but I want to share that with you. A cool observation on that buck. Of course, everyone's asking me all the time, how's this buck, how's this buck? Please don't send all those emails, folks. I just can't respond to them all, but I can teach you or help you. You'll notice when you look at this buck, you know, he's standing broadside. You want to age deer when they're standing broadside and heads up in normal position, not way up on a scrape or not bent down, because that changes their posture. You notice on this buck, his neck, where it meets the chest, is way above the brisket, many inches above the brisket. But he's a big-bodied deer, and his back is straight and his belly straight. It's big deer, but his shoulders aren't a whole lot bigger than his hams. So everything about this deer, where that neck merges and everything else, that screams 3-year-old to me. Notice I didn't mention antlers, because antlers are not an accurate indicator of a buck's age. You're better to look at the body than you are the antlers to estimate a buck's age. We just placed this redneck blind here a couple of months ago. I really like it because I can see 4 ways. There's a road going that way and a utility line going this way and this way, and we've cleaned out a little area right out here. So a lot going on right here. And we built a little high-hill food plot right in front of us last year, used prescribed fire to take a bunch of those weeds off that utility line and seeded it and then reseeded it, of course. Also, deer just like corners or intersections. If it's an intersection for you, it's probably an intersection for a deer also. So all these different habitat types, hardwood, cedars, we just cut cedars right in front of us, all those things coming together. And the food plot, the high-deal food plot with the green cover that's coming on. 15 turkeys come through, fed around, actually fed back out the other way. 15. You know, a lot of people seeing groups of 15, maybe 2 hens, a bunch of poults, maybe 3 hens. A little tough to tell poults and hens apart right now, but clearly a bunch of poults and some hens. I got the Moultrie Mobile going on, looking at the app. Almost same time, there's another good group of turkeys, a couple of ridges that way. Man, I'm just telling you, for me working on the property, the guys working on the property, and watching those Moultrie Mobiles, there's a bunch of turkeys at the proving ground. So you're thinking, why is he talking turkeys right here at the start of deer season? Well, you know, if you're doing a workout program or getting ready for an elk hunt, you don't start getting ready for an elk hunt, you know, a week before you're going. You've been practicing with your bow, you've already got your gear, you've got it all tuned up, you've hopefully been exercising, you know, putting some miles in, getting ready for that change of altitude if you're an East Coast guy or Midwestern guy going up to the Rocky Mountains. That's like turkeys. You want good turkey hunting this spring? Man, that's really going to depend on the work you did a year or 2 ago. Most of us are passing up jakes looking for a 2-year-old or older bird. Evan was working here the other day on a different interior road here and had 41 turkeys cross the road when he quit counting. 41. Are you seeing 41 turkeys this time of year before those fall flocks really get huge like winter flocks? If not, let's talk about how you can get there. Here's some simple steps we've taken at the proving grounds too. Now, you know, we haven't been managing this. We're going on our 2nd year, I guess, so we're making progress quickly. And some of these are somewhat controversial. I don't think they are. I think it's just common sense. But I'll start with, you know, habitat's number 1, and we've been cutting cedars and using prescribed fire. We've shared that with you. We're making improvements in the habitat as fast as nature. I mean, you can only burn and get a response so quickly, and our budget allows. So we're working on improving the habitat. Habitat's number 1. Predators are another factor, and I'm seeing more and more of the nonprofit groups, NWTF and other groups, starting to at least mention predators a little bit. You know, when I first started this and realized that, man, as a kid when I grew up trapping, there would be, you know, 200,000 give or take coons trapped and sold a year here in Missouri. And that number's way, way down now, you know, 10,000 give or take, more or less, not many at all. there's a lot more raccoons on the landscape in Missouri and almost every state out there. And then Missouri does a great job of doing surveys each year. Predator surveys are generically called. They put scent stations out and put a tracking pit material down, sand or something, and different predators, coyotes, coons, bobcats, whatever, come to smell that scent on a stick and leave prints there. And they can do an index of how many, predators were there, smooth out the sand, come check it the next day. It's much more complicated than that. They do a great job of that research, and clearly their data shows predator numbers going up, up, up. And bow hunter observations, Missouri does a survey with what bow hunters see out of a tree. Not every bow hunter, but you get a random survey. Those numbers going up. So there's a lot more predators now, clearly by all that data. And raccoons especially are really hard on nesting turkeys, the adults and certainly those poults, eggs, young poults, whatever. In addition to a lot of other predators, avian predators, crows, hawks, whatever, snakes, whatever. Everything wants a turkey egg or a turkey sandwich, a little turkey poult. So we've been trapping, as we've shared in past episodes. That's why I want to talk now. Start working now for better turkey populations in the future. I think the year before, off the Proving Grounds 2, much smaller than the original Proving Grounds, we removed 100 and couple predators. And I remember last year we removed 139 opossums, raccoons, and skunks, and a couple coyotes or something like that. So 139 off of less than 900 acres. That's a lot. I think I remember that was a predator for about every 6 acres. You think about that. If you're a hen out there trying to nest, and you're on the ground for all those days, about 52 days, and there's a predator every 6 acres on average. Now, it's not an even distribution, but 52 days, it's tough to pull off having a successful nest. So now's the time. I use Duke traps, get a hold of them, tell me you saw it on Growing Deer. That's the trap I use, very reasonably priced. Get a hold of them, get some traps ordered. Trapping season is open in some states and will open soon in other states. Yep, you can check them while you're deer hunting. Check them midday, do whatever. Most states have a 24-hour check. You need to check those traps at least once every 24 hours. I like what's called the cage trap or the live trap because, you're at the hunting camp for a weekend or your grandma's place hunting for the weekend or something. Open those doors, put a little bait in there. When you leave, Sunday afternoon, shut the doors. Come back the next weekend hunt, open them again. There's a lot of ways to skin that coon, no pun intended. But it doesn't happen if you don't take action.
Growing Deer is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Also by Green Cover Food Plots, Winchester, Moultrie Mobile, Fleet Outdoor Apparel, Morel Targets, RTP Outdoors, Fourth Arrow, Scorpion Venom Archery, Case IH Tractors, Ward Laboratories, Burris Optics, G5 Broadheads, Prime Bows, and Redneck Hunting Blinds.
So I mentioned we've trapped a lot and we've worked on habitat. Here's something else, and I can't really put a weight on any of these. I think they're all very important and pretty simple. So why weight them when they're simple to do? But we don't use any seed treated with insecticides, fungicides, those harsh treatments. But a lot of nonprofits give away seeds that are treated with neonicotinoids is the proper name. It's a form of nicotine, but neonicotinoids. But neonics are super strong. In other countries, Europe, whatever, have banned those chemicals or strongly limited them. And there's refereed publications in America, United States here, showing that neonics can actually harm deer. There's one out of South Dakota, one out of Minnesota. Almost 100% of the deer livers, I think it was 100% if I remember correctly from that Minnesota work, had neonics in them. That's a harsh chemical, folks. I don't want wildlife eating them, deer or turkeys. I don't want to eat the critters that ate them. So we only plant seed here that does not have any insecticide, fungicide on that. It may have an inoculant to help the plant. That's just simple bacteria to help it take nitrogen out of the air. When I say uncoated seed, I don't care about the inoculants, the bacteria to help it interact with nitrogen in the air and put that nitrogen in the soil for the next crop. What I'm talking about is those really harsh fungicides, insecticides, all those things. And a lot of that quote-unquote free seed or real cheap seed that the nonprofits are giving away, the first line on a lot of those labels is danger, harmful to wildlife. We've shared this before. Those groups just don't know any better. They're not trying to be mean. But what happens to great big giant seed companies? Well, they have more seed than they sell. It actually costs more for them to put that in a landfill because it's so toxic. You can't just use it as cattle feed or something. So they give it to nonprofits for people to use as food plot. And a lot of that seed is broadcast right on top of soil. Anytime you see a seed that's purple, or green or pink, some unnatural color, that's a warning. Do not touch, danger. And you see guys out there broadcasting and, 30 minutes later, turkey's in there eating it, or people harvesting turkey in the spring and they open them up, clean them, and check the crop and it's full of these funky colored seeds. Well, some of that probably already got into meat before that, seed passed through there, and you don't want to be eating that stuff. I don't want to be eating it. So we don't have any of those seed treatments on the property at all, period. We've got to a state where we've used very, very little herbicide. We're not spraying whole fields. We may spray Sericea, Lespedeza along the road, or little Hydeo food plot where they deaerate it to the ground and only weeds are growing. And we're sharing more about that real soon. But we've developed techniques where we don't have to use that herbicide. My sprayer hasn't been hooked up in a long time. In fact, if you need to buy a really good 3-point sprayer, 200-gallon tank, get a hold of me because I don't look to need one in the future. So we don't use any of those seeds here. We get our seed, of course, from Green Cover. And one thing I really love about Green Cover, I knew this before I ever partnered with them to create some wildlife blends, is in their whole facility, it's a big facility, they don't have any GMO seeds. They don't have any neonic treated seeds. They don't allow them on the place. They don't sell them. They don't want it because it might contaminate other seeds going through the processing equipment. So they don't have any of that. And that's just another great reason to get your seeds where I get mine. So anyway, we'll put a link in on the screen or in the description that shows we've talked about neonics before. We actually did a podcast with the juries. We've had a video about it. We talked to a big-time scientist that researches that. And you can learn for yourselves, but now's the time to start preparing for better turkey seasons in the future. And the old statement is, don't do the same thing and expect better results. Well, don't manage your habitat or your grandma's land or wherever you're hunting. Don't do it the same and expect there to be more turkeys. It may, fluctuate up and down a little bit each year, but you're not going to see the increases we've seen if you don't change. So habitat, predators, balance that predator-prey relationship, and don't be using seeds treated with these harsh chemicals. Well, I slid in here midday because I'll be hunting out this redneck again, just put it up this year, and so excited. Hopefully cooler temps are coming. Hope you all have a chance to get outside and the temps are cool and there's plenty of rain for the food plots or native habitat wherever you are. But more important than all of that, I want to remind us all, myself included, to slow down every day, take time, and seek the Creator's will for our life. Be intentional about seeking that, and then apply it daily. Thanks for watching Growing Deer.